Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to, well, I guess this is a new show, right, Mr. Mack? Me and you, we put our heads together, came up with a plan, came up with an idea, and now we're here. Welcome to MPCW Presents Inside the Ropes, our co-branded, conjoined talk show for ACW Allegiance Championship Wrestling and PCW Phenomenal Championship Wrestling. I am the PCW CEO, Malcolm King, alongside me, ACW CEO, Chris Mack, my brother,
Yeah.
and the beautiful PCW General Manager, Lavender D. But we are not alone here, ladies and gentlemen. We actually have a special guest for this panel here. So let me introduce the one and only Dark Avatar himself, Sarabai.
Hello.
Man, a few words, Sarabai, today. It's good.
Well,
Good.
I was told to show up. I was fine.
I mean,
So
this man was in a hell of a match this week.
I was in two
So, I
hell of
mean,
matches this
he
week.
may still be
Here's
healing
a
up a
few.
little bit.
He was in a few matches this week. Let's not forget that. Let me just explain to everyone what's going on here. Malcolm King, Lavender D. We will be talking about phenomenal championship wrestling results, getting the controversy and the questions and comments from everyone on this panel. But we also are going to be going over and talking about a showcase show that Chris Mack put on earlier this week, titled Red, White, and Bruised. Happened in ECW arena, right?
The arena, the 2300 arena, the ECW arena, the home of hardcore.
Well,
I admit it. It felt good being there. I'll admit that.
Absolutely.
PCW definitely was not in Philadelphia or wherever you were at, Chris Mack. We had a little more class this week, and we took our talents to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Ladies and gentlemen, phenomenal championship wrestling. We had 7 phenomenal matches on our card. ACW's Red, White, and Bruised had 6. Chris Mack? 7, 6, 8,
Let me double
800.
check.
800. Lavender
8.
said
We had
800.
8 of them.
no. We absolutely did not have 800 matches. We did not film ACW Dark or Live this week.
I would hope not, because I was not invited to any of those.
Exactly.
Le- exactly.
I was not being paid enough to do all that, so I'm glad.
Well, let's jump right into it, guys. Match number 1 for Phenomenal Championship Wrestling. We had a Radical Championship match with a special guest referee being Michael the Angel. It showcased the current Radical Champion Diablo as he took on Jack Evans. Now, let me give a little insight in regards to what took place or what transpired in that match, and then I'm gonna move to the panel and ask some hard questions to this star-studded cast here of individuals on this show. The 2 men lock up in the center of the ring, and Jack Evans is soon met with an intense headlock that Jack reverses into his own. Jack would then push Diablo into the ropes and clothesline Diablo. Diablo showed frustration, very an aggressive side of Diablo that we saw uh, for the duration of this match. Hitting a harsh boot to the gut of Jack Evans. I mean, Jack Evans definitely put up a fight. He definitely tried his damnness to last in this match. However, when it was all said and done, Diablo did something that we definitely haven't seen from him as of yet. I mean, Diablo's been in a lot of different battles here on the show and a lot of different with a lot of different types of individuals, but he hit Jack Evans with that vicious and just brutal punt kick, um, taking Evans out of commission, putting him down for the count. But he retains his championship. However, the interesting part of all of this is at the end of that match, Michael the Angel and Diablo seemingly on the same page would viciously assault Jack Evans, taking the insatiable one out of commission. And I hate to say it, but this would not be the only time we saw paramedics or EMTs on the show this evening. It actually happened on a couple of occasions, but Jack Evans was escorted out of the arena, out of the Barclays Center via ambulance. So let me start with you, Lavender. Your thoughts. What were you thinking leading up to this match? Not about what happened during the match, but what were you thinking leading up to this match with this matchup between Diablo and Jack Evans, knowing the history that these two men, actually these three men, if we want to add Michael the Angel into it, in regards to this Radical Championship? What were you thinking?
I was expecting more action from Michael for sure. Knowing his history with Jack, I expected it to be some suspicious, unfair reffing, but it wasn't. And I mean, good on him for keeping his temper and playing fair. I definitely didn't see, like, I expected Diablo to put on a show for sure, especially against Jack Evans, but the ending, the beating, I definitely was not expecting this. And it's something new for Diablo. He's aggressive, but like, I didn't expect this kind of aggression for sure.
Sarabai, you've been in. You actually are a former Radical champion, so you understand the prestige and the caliber of that championship. It is, some would say, cream of the crop as far as hardcore championships go. What were you expecting that you didn't see in this match, or what were you excited to see happen in this match?
I was expecting a little more violence because, yeah, there was a little bit of technical wrestling, but like you said, this is the cream of the crop of a hardcore division, basically. I was glad to see Diablo show a little bit of the dark side. I've always been hoping he would show that. I was a little disappointed that Michael Chicken Wing didn't do anything during the match itself. And then he had to wait until the end of the match to tag along like he always does. And that's for the Insatiable One. He tried to get a foothold in the division, and, well, he kept slipping and sliding.
Yeah, he definitely became a footnote in that division. Mack, before we jump to your first match for Red, White, and Bruised, any thoughts from you in regards to what took place or what transpired with this first opening match for PCW?
Well, Lavender, to her point, she admired how Michael, during the matchup, he controlled himself, but I think this was all part of a plan. He knew that during the match, that regardless of the outcome, I believe he was going to attack whoever. And I believe that the insatiable Jack Evans just happened to be the man in the crosshairs.
I agree. Well, Mack, let's switch locations, so to speak. Let's move from the Barclays Center in New York to the original ECW arena there in Philadelphia. Let's hear your first match.
Our first match of the evening for Red, White, and Bruised was KC Luchador taking on the Irish Pitbull, two men who as of late have started building this rivalry, and it seems as if it's over that number one contendership for that newly minted ACW United States Championship.
Beautiful title. Beautiful title.
Absolutely. This was a great match. We're seeing a lot of back and forth, but we've seen Irish Pitbull go for a Irish Curse, that sharpshooter, very early on in the match, and it didn't quite get the job done. And as KC Luchador began to implement that lucha style, it began to infuriate the man from Ireland so much that, he had KC Luchador down, and instead of going for a pinfall or something, he grabs the man, and right as he grabs him, matter of fact, shades of a 1990 Great American Bash, Ric Flair and Sting, he grabs the man, and KC Luchador rolls him up in that quick pinning combination for a 1, 2, and a 3. And this is a match that I don't think this rivalry is over with. I think we're going to have to run this back and revisit it. I mean, and then after the match, we see Michael Maddox come out with the MFBI. And I'm not talking about the full-blooded Italians. I'm talking about his midget FBI agents.
I swear I saw
Right
Nunzio
on
in
the
there somewhere.
van, it had the MFBI was back in a big banner. Nunzio and Big gentlemen, and they were backstage earlier in the evening.
Interesting for sure. Let's kind of get some thoughts on what took place with your opening match there, Mac, because Irish Pitbull definitely has been on a sort of a comeback tour, so to speak, for the brute Irishman out of Belfast, and we saw him show shades of that old school, just ruthless aggression that he got him to the big lights and got him to the show a few weeks ago when he took on Johnny Rockstar and that battle royal. Johnny Rockstar was the one who eliminated him. We saw the Irishman come back, attack Johnny Rockstar. I've been seeing on the Horn and on the rumor mill around the professional wrestling universe how Casey Luchador and Johnny Rockstar are a team. So it makes sense seeing Casey Luchador step up and defend his partner. But how do you see this playing out? Because like you said earlier, Mac, the big prize here is that ACW United States Championship, and there's a number one contendership for that championship. And listen, it's like feeding time. Whenever a new belt is introduced to the company, it's like feeding time. Everyone wants their hands on it. Everyone wants a piece of it. Everyone wants their name etched in history underneath the title of that championship. So let me just ask a absolutely random question, Lavender. If this was a PCW match, this was a PCW issue, how would you address it? How would you go forward with this type of a match?
I don't know, honestly. I feel like it's something like this, it would have to be like an executive decision. Like, I would definitely bring it to like our HR and stuff and figure out what the best way to go about this would be.
Sarabai, you've been in the ring with both of these individuals. You've been in the ring with the Irishman. You've been in the ring with Casey Luchador. Hell, you've been in the ring with, Rockstar, Rock Gun, Shotgun, Shockwave,
Whatever the hell his name
Whatever
is.
it is
whatever his
today.
name is. Let me ask you this, because you never really have been in a clique, so to speak. You usually travel, on your own path and take care of your business on your own. So Irish Pitbull, does he have a grudge that he has to just clear out with Casey Luchador, or should he even look for someone to team with him to take on the pairing of both Luchador and Rockstar?
Well, that depends, because as well as I know Irish Pitbull, he's got the pride issue, like I do. And if something comes up, he'll do it on his own. Even if it means taking on Casey Luchador and the kid that spins the rotating wheel every freaking day to change his name.
Well, Mac, it sounds like you got one hell of a feud brewing here. It'd be interesting to see how you can, play that out with these individuals. It's definitely on the rumor mill as a trending rivalry that's
I mean, and let's not
there.
forget, Michael Maddox physically took this man, him and his MFBI agents, and they threw him in the back of the van in cuffs.
Is Michael? Let me ask this, Chris Mack. Is Michael Maddox even a part of the FBI or any law enforcement?
I believe this is a self-appointed agency. I don't think it is in any way, shape, or form connected to any U.S. government um, branch.
So he basically kidnapped somebody with a group of Oompa Loompas on live TV.
In Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, for crying out loud.
Interesting.
Well, match number 2 for Phenomenal Championship Wrestling as we shift back to the Barclays Center. Tag team match, Misery, JJ Streeter, and Trey Camp versus CTC's Nikki Hartman and Brockus. Misery's music starts to play as Trey Camp and JJ Streeter make their way to the ring. Nikki and Brockus come out and attack Misery from behind, so not even giving Misery a rightful chance of preparing and being ready for them in this match. But Nikki would pick JJ up and drag him to the ring. Nikki goes to toss JJ into the ring, but he reverses it, sending her into those brutal, unforgiving steel steps as Brockus runs down the ramp to help Nikki, but he is met with a massive big boot from JJ. Let me remind everyone, JJ Streeter is a former world champion, a former mid-card champion,
All Allegiance
definitely
champion,
a man who,
tag team,
yeah,
various championships, very
Asylum.
decorated superstar
Asylum
in
champion.
MPCW as a whole. Yes, he was the first, and let's not gloss over that. This man accomplished something that we haven't seen anybody get close to other than the Saint of Suffering Crisis, and he still didn't make it. But JJ became the first ever dual ACW World Heavyweight and Asylum champion.
Agreed. Yeah, so definitely no slouch inside or outside of the ring. Streeter would grab Brockus and toss him into the ring post as Trey gets up and grabs Nikki and tosses her in the ring. JJ tells Trey he's got this as Brockus gets up and the ref calls for the bell. Streeter runs and nails Brockus with a freight train collision. That stinger splash. Beautiful move there, knocking Brockus to the mat. But Streeter would put Brockus back in the corner looking to hit a second freight train collision, but as he runs towards Brockus, Nikki would push Brockus out of the way and nail JJ with a massive heartbreak. That women's right. Brockus gets to his feet, waits for JJ to get up, nails him with that spear. Brockus goes for a cover, but JJ was able to kick out at one. Brockus and Nikki here, CTC, showing tag team continuity as they are tagging in and out of the match between each other and utilizing it to their advantage. However, Brockus would tag in Nikki. Nikki grabs Streeter. She whips him into the corner, runs to do the clothesline on Streeter as she connects. Trey tags himself in. So smart tag team wrestling from the ace, Trey Camp there, who would get into the ring like a bat out of hell. He hit a power bomb, a chop block, the L7, that super kick, connects with the ace high. He's looking for a pinning predicament, but Brockus will grab his leg, distracting him for a moment, giving Nikki enough time to get up to Trey and turn him around and nail him with that super kick, but it doesn't knock Trey down. Trey is a massive competitor. Another individual who's been a former world champion around this
champion,
place,
world
all
champion,
distortion champion. So
absolutely.
Trey, another man who knows. I mean, the Church of Misery in a whole is just a very imposing faction, to say the least. But Nikki would hit him with a super kick. She goes for a cover, but only gets a 2 count. Trey would try to tag in Streeter, but Brockus pulled Streeter off the ring apron, nails him with another corporate spear. Fights with them up the ramp. Brackets would get JJ near the edge of the stage and nail Streeter with a Siberian Destroyer, that Canadian Destroyer move off the stage and through some tables.
Oof.
PCW officials had to come out and check on both of these men. And Trey completely caught off guard because he is focused on his partner, his brother in the Church of Misery. Turns around, he is met with a heartbreak. Nikki would not go for the cover. She would climb the rope and hit that heart attack move, the 450 splash, hooks the leg, and the referee had no other choice but to count 1, 2, 3. Winners of the tag team matches, CTC. So, Mr. Mack, you're familiar with CTC. You're familiar with the group. What does this say for your brand to see both of these factions who represent your brand, CTC and Misery? What does this say for your brand in your mind with this feud here that's brewing between CTC and Misery?
I mean, first of all, congratulations to CTC, a huge upset victory, you could call it, for the ACW World Tag Team Champions over the former ACW World Heavyweight Champion and the former All Allegiance Champion in the Church of Misery. You know, that's no light task for anybody when you're facing men of this caliber and all. And I think it just shows how much Nikki and Brackus as a team have gelled, especially after winning those tag team championships.
And grown as a cohesive unit.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's just be honest, Mac. 6 months ago, I would not have said in any capacity that Nikki and Brackus could take on the likes of the Church of Misery.
Absolutely.
And here we see them stealing a victory, and getting a big victory over a faction like the Church of Misery. Lavender D, what are your thoughts on the match?
It was a really good match, and I think, like you said, like 6 months ago, Nikki and Brackus, I don't think that they would have worked together the way they did tonight and showed dominance in such a match like this. That's quite the competitor to go against. Like Church of Misery, that's intense, and they really showed up and showed out, and they did it really well.
Sarba, I see the look on your face as we mentioned names like Misery and CTC. What's going through your mind?
Well, I gotta admit, I have a little bit of proud moment because of Nikki, mainly because she's my former manager when I first joined PCW and ACW. Zip it up there. But seeing her grow like this, I have to admit, I'm a little proud. But everyone also knows I have no love for that group of little bitches called Misery. They screwed up. They got in my business. That's stupid of them. And to see them lose to CTC, another group I actually have no love lost for, I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely.
Huh.
And Chris Mack, I just got your text finding me $5,000 for what I just said.
I don't know what you're talking about. Thanks, Monica.
Wow. That's fantastic. Well, let's switch back over. Let's head back to the ECW arena in Philadelphia. Mac, match number 2 for you, my friend. Or as CEO Donald Smith would say, my brother, testify.
Match number 2 on Red, White, and Bruised. It was a boot camp match between, speaking of Misery, the mighty mastodon of the Church of Misery, the Mammoth Mayhem, taking on someone that you and Lavender are very familiar with. It's Mr. PCW Global Champion himself, Casey Riddle.
That's my
Boo, Casey.
Riddle.
Boo. No cheering.
Oh,
I think Lavender's still mad he never returned her text.
probably. No, I mean
Lavender
his name
has
is
better
Casey
things
Riddle,
to
not Pat McAfee.
Stop. I am not a homewrecker. We're not bringing up that name anymore.
And that's why Baron Corbin got that hit on for you, buddy.
Paid him a lot of money for that.
I told you we could get that done.
Still waiting on the
Back to the
deposit.
match.
Anyway, you know, these men, we had a boot camp area set up kind of near the arena. It looked like a little mini army base out there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was
And a
cool
matter of
setup.
fact, we seen, well, it what appeared to be, I don't know if it was actually him. It may have been a fan just wearing an Austin Kruger getup, driving a Jeep that just kind of chunked out the Mammoth Mayhem for this match. But be that as it may, these men, that didn't stop the Mammoth Mayhem at all. These two men, they tore it up. They absolutely destroyed the set we had set up. They used anything and everything they could get their hands on. As a matter of fact, I mean, the Mammoth Mayhem had Riddle, and he was just bouncing him off of army jeeps, ammo cases, everything. He goes to sling the whip Riddle into a flagpole, and Riddle at the last minute just lets the life out of his body almost, and he just drops down, and Mammoth just charges full speed into the flagpole,
Oh my goodness.
allowing Riddle to hit that reverse DDT and stack the big man up for a 1-2-3. But that was not the end of it. These men fought their way back into the building. And we seen them backstage. Matter of fact, King Baker was getting ready for his upcoming match. Match 3 was supposed to be a fatal 4-way for the Loyalty Championship. And they just interrupted the whole interview. They went into the locker room where the other competitors were getting ready. They slammed through the locker room wall.
Yeah.
They end up on the stage area, and somehow, folks, I hope you're ready for this, because I couldn't believe it when I seen it. The Mammoth Mayhem somehow got out of the big brawl with all these competitors, and he climbs the steel girders around the Allegiance Shrine, and he leaps on all 5 of these competitors below. I had to rush out with medical staff, and none of these people were able to compete, and we had to throw the match out, postpone the Loyalty Championship match.
Yeah,
that is a
let's just-
lot of man coming from very high, very fast. Lavender.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Mammoth Mayhem is about 400 plus pounds of an individual standing at about
On a
6'4".
light day.
All right, standing about 6 feet tall. That is a massive individual, and he took out the likes of Christopher Tragedy, King Baker, All American, Panther, Casey Riddle. Like, he completely obliterated the set with Casey Riddle. Completely obliterated a locker room. They ran through a damn wall, for Christ's sakes. And it just escalated to where all of these individuals are so amped up and so, looking towards their moment under the big bright lights. And it had to be postponed, as Mack was saying, just because egos were at play. And listen, as long as Casey Riddle is fine and can show up to work, which he showed up earlier tonight. So, I mean, Casey Riddle's a different breed. That's all I was really more so concerned about. Now, obviously, I'm concerned about the MPCW Loyalty Championship, and that has to be postponed because, like Max said, these 4 individuals were not able to compete in said match. Something to look forward to, especially with Riddle representing Renegade and Mammoth representing Misery, something we definitely want to look forward to. But also, just the Phenomena Stars being able to show up here in New York at the Barclays Center in a tag team match later on tonight. It just speaks volumes for all of these competitors. Lavender, why don't you go over the next match for Phenomenal Championship Wrestling as we make our way back to the Barclays Center?
For sure. The next match is match 3, which was just a singles match with Sarahby and Mammoth Mayhem.
Oh ho ho!
Sarahby, do you have something to say?
No. Lavender, it turned into a TLC match.
Well,
That is right.
didn't.
I seen on social media that the big man called out Sarahby to a TLC match.
That is right.
And this was what? Maybe a day removed
Yeah.
from a match we're going to talk about later on.
Yeah.
On Red, White, and Bruised that this man could have died in. So, I mean, neither of these two men were 100% going into this match.
For sure. Well, the TLC match, Misery's music started to play, and Mammoth made his way out to the ring. He passed a cameraman who followed his movement intently, and it's just as he climbs into the ring, Sarahby's music starts to play, and as he waits for his opponent, the cameraman rolls into the ring behind him, which was quite strange because it's a cameraman, and they don't typically go into the ring. But the cameraman smashed his camera over Mammoth's head before revealing himself to be Sarahby himself. Sarahby then would attack Mammoth, sending several hard lefts before Mammoth backhands him, sending him stumbling backwards. Mammoth gets to his feet, and both men start to slug it out in the middle of the ring before Mammoth grabs Sarahby by the throat and starts choking him out. Mammoth lifts Sarahby and nails a vicious chokeslam in the center of the ring. Mammoth goes for the pin with a 1-2, and Sarahby was able to kick out. Just as Sarahby starts to kick out, Mammoth rolls out of the ring and started just tossing in chairs, tables, ladders. He was just tossing in supplies, and once that happens, he rolls into the ring, and Sarahby drop kicks the ladder right into his face. Mammoth holds his face, grabbing a chair, and he starts to swing the chair quite intensely and smashes Sarahby right in the face. That's not a good look. Sarahby stumbles, and Mammoth starts to drive heavy fists into Sarahby's body before a sidewalk slamming him into the mat. As Sarahby lays there, Mammoth sets up a table in the center of the ring, which does not look good for him at all. Mammoth walks over and picks Sarahby up and goes for a powerbomb. And as Mammoth prepares to put Sarahby through the table, Sarahby reverses it into a Hellbite RKO. What an intense reverse, that's for sure. That was insane. Mammoth goes through the table as well, and Sarahby gets to his feet and walks over and grabs a chair. Sarahby starts slamming the chair across the Mighty Mastodon back, not once, twice, but 5 times, bending this chair. Sarahby goes for the pin with a 1 and a 2 count, but Mammoth kicks out. Sarahby gets visibly angry as he grabs yet another chair, bringing it down across the big man's back, and he repeats this until the chair is bent. Sarahby slams the chair across the forehead of Mammoth, busting him open pretty badly, and the ref tries to keep Sarahby away from hitting Mammoth in the head again, only for Sarahby to shove him out of the way, and Sarahby slams the chair into Mammoth's head, and the ref just had to call for the bell. It was too bloody. It was too much. So he called for the bell, and stopped the match. So there was no winner technically.
I mean, the match definitely escalated a little out of the control of the referee. I mean, both of these men, obviously, it was clear from the start of the match to the finish that these two men just definitely were not approaching this match as a wrestling match, but as a means to an end of their opponent. And I mean, the ref has a job to do, and the ref, definitely did his job. So let's talk with you, Sarahby, in regards to this match. What's going on in your head, especially being against a competitor the size of the Mighty Mastodon, the Mammoth Mayhem, a man with that kind of size and power and just agility that he possesses. Did you did you think that this match was going to have an ending, a finish, a winner, or were you just more so focused on sending a proverbial message, maybe even to the Church of Misery?
The message. And Mammoth was the perfect one to send it because he was the one that interfered in every one of my matches lately. And I got tired of it. Yes, I accepted the Ultra Boys TLC challenge. And I planned on making damn sure he did not walk out. I didn't care about the 1, 2, 3 in this match. I didn't care about referee stoppage. I was planning on putting him on the shelf.
Well,
And I was going to use that as a message to Misery.
I was gonna say you almost did it. Had not the referee step foot in there and stop the match, but I mean, what an intense match between both of those competitors. Mack being a CEO, and you see competitors bringing this kind of fire and passion to a match. Are you excited for seeing something like that, or is this what you expect from the locker room?
I mean, allow me for a second to blow some smoke up this man's ass. But ladies and gentlemen, you see why I picked the deathmatch deity to go against Cletus the Bomb, the ACW Hardcore Champion, in this deathmatch series because of moments like this.
Great.
To where he would bring the fight, he would bring the violence, and he sent the message.
Let's while we're on that topic, because that is actually the match that you're about to talk about. Why don't just to give some back story on what Sarabai had went through literally 48 hours before having this match with the mighty Mastodon. Why don't we hear what happened in that match, Mac?
And let us not gloss over the fact that before we get into this, that he beat a hell of a competitor in his own right in the Mammoth Mayhem. And I guess you could call it beat a referee stoppage. I mean, if you're the last man on your feet, you really win the fight. Let's be honest.
Very, very true. I mean, I am the greatest Insomniac champion of all time for a reason.
You would know that, my brother. Being the greatest, the GOAT.
The GOAT,
baby.
That's me. That is me. It's your boy.
But this next match in the deathmatch series was the infamous, and we've seen it back in the day in the early 90s in FMW. It's a fire deathmatch. And ladies and gentlemen, what that entails is we remove the ropes. There's barbed wire on the ropes, but on each of these ropes, there's a section of a board, and it's wrapped in cloth that has been soaked in gasoline and flammable materials. And there was a literal inferno in the ECW arena. The only other time this match has happened, they couldn't stay in the ring because the fire around the ropes was literally creating a vortex, sucking out the oxygen, and it was beginning to melt the logo on the mat.
Oof.
And that's not even this match.
Well,
it definitely was not a cool match, to say the least.
I mean, we've seen these men utilize even more fire. A 2x4 that was wrapped in barbed wire and set on fire. These two men were using this as a weapon against each other. And that didn't even finish the match. Cletus, I believe it was Cletus. Yes, Cletus grabbed a bag of thumbtacks and he poured them in the middle of the ring. and he took lighter fluid and he set this pile of thumbtacks ablaze.
Oh my God.
As he power bombed Sarabai into this flaming pile of thumbtacks, which caused the referee to finally, before these men passed out and died, because that fire was getting really hot. I mean, we tried to control it the best we could, but it's fire. You can't, it's not, you can't just tame it.
Right.
But the referee called for the stoppage and he awarded the match to Cletus the Bum, who goes up in the series, which will force a match 7, which will determine an ACW hardcore champion out of these two men.
Ooh. So Sarabai goes through a flaming fucking whatever match with Cletus, a psychopath. Let's just put it that way, a psychopath. And Cletus the Bum. I mean, you have to be a crazy individual if you have all this money, you have all these wrestling contracts, and you still choose to sleep on park benches and drink fifths of whiskey and not even the good kind of whiskey, the terrible kind of
no,
whiskey,
absolutely
bourbons,
not.
and just brown paper bagging it for your entire. You have to be a psychopath. So Sarabai goes through this kind of a match. And then 48 hours later, he has to go against the Mighty Mastodon, the Mammoth Mayhem, in a TLC match. I mean, I have no idea how you.
And you got to believe, and Sarah, I'm sure you can confirm this, with every hit, every bump that this man took to these charred areas on his body, it had to be driving the beat down that he delivered to the Mammoth Mayhem.
It did. Every time, like when he chokeslammed me in the middle of the ring, I felt the charred section of my back just split. And the pain going through my body was just immense.
I mean, as if the bitter taste of defeat wasn't enough. He literally maimed this man. He burned this man.
Mm-hmm.
And
that is.
He used this as energy, as the fire within him to beat down a competitor such as the Mammoth Mayhem.
It's intense.
Not less than, 48 hours, 36, something like that. I mean, the man should have been in a burn unit, for crying out loud. Let's be honest. Mammoth Mayhem should have been in a hospital bed on the other end of the hospital laid up. But that's the fight that these competitors have.
Absolutely agreed. We make our way back to the Barclays Center for match number 4, a tag team match between Panther and King Baker versus All-American and Christopher Tragedy. Again, the same 4 individuals that we saw on Red, White, and Bruised who were unable to compete in their said match because of the fight, the brawl that took place between Mammoth Mayhem and Casey Riddle. As both tag teams are in the center of the ring, the bell sounds. All 4 contestants are going back and forth. The ref is trying to get order. Eventually, King Baker and Panther get the upper hand as they toss All-American and Tragedy outside the ring. Tragedy turns around and tells All-American, "I got this," as he starts to tie up with Panther. He eventually gets Panther into a brain buster as the crowd is booing Christopher Tragedy, and he makes a tag to the All-American. All-American hits her with an angle slam and goes for the pin, but she is able to kick out at 2. As Panther goes for a tag, she is stopped by All-American. She goes for a super kick, but it's blocked by All-American, so she hits him with a hook kick to the back of the head and is able to make that hot tag to Baker. Baker comes in like a bat out of hell as he starts hitting Tragedy and All-American with that king switch, the kill switch maneuver. He nails them both with a kill switch. Baker would then lock in All-American and the king crossface, causing the All-American to tap out.
I get uncomfortable when guys from Canada locking a crossface. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I kind of don't blame you on that one.
But I mean, shout out to Panther, shout out to King Baker,
Hey,
uh,
absolutely,
winning the
absolutely.
tag team match. Lavender, this is probably one of your first or second maybe times of seeing Panther in action. What did you think of her performance in this match?
I think she did really well. I think that if she continues this way, she could be a great female talent, and a great asset to the team for sure.
Mac, seeing what these four individuals went through, were you thinking that we would see a showcase match like they put on here at the Barclays Center?
I mean,
Because
yes and no.
let's
Because
remind
you
everyone, the
see the
Mammoth Mayhem
extent
is a huge man. He's not a light, not a
the
light man.
extent of the injuries that these people that these competitors had to face. You know, and then like mere a day and a few hours later compete in a match like this, and not just compete in the match but show out in this match in that 20 by 20 the way they did. I mean, kudos to all of the competitors involved for that.
Agreed. Sir, by any thoughts on what could potentially be going through the mind of All American, one of the hottest rising superstars to date, to suffer a loss to someone? I mean, a lot of people have been saying suffering a loss to the likes of someone like King Baker. Does that speak volumes for King Baker, or is All American just not the same All American that you're
I,
used to seeing?
I will definitely say it was one hell of an upset. But for All American to lose to him, it's not only a slap to his face, it's a slap to his talent. And it better light the fire under his ass for him to get better and show out what he is capable of doing, or he's going to be synonymous with upset wins and losses and King Baker.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you guys this, because these are the four finalists for that MPCW Loyalty Championship. So I'm gonna ask you guys each to just say a name of who you think is going to be winning that championship. We'll start with you, Lavender. Do you think it's Panther, King Baker, Tragedy, or All American?
I think Panther could take it. I really think that if Panther works hard, that uh, she could hold the next belt.
Sarah, bye.
I wanna say American because every no offense to Panther's talent, all I hear is her talk, then she growls. She talks, then she growls.
That's true.
And everyone knows I have no love lost for the Tragedy family. Hell, I played Christopher through the tailgate of a truck when I came back, so definitely not picking him. And Queen Baker, I mean, I don't know if he's trying to win a wrestling match or win a beauty contest.
Mac.
I'm gonna say it like this. To your point, Sarah, I would love to see Baker get off of that beauty pageant, whatever body built, whatever mindset, and focus that same energy into training for these matches. And I'd love to see him pull out an upset dark horse victory and come out with that championship.
Listen, Mac, I was also going to say King Baker was my choice if I had one of who would win that championship. Now, obviously, it's up to these four individuals in regards to who actually wins that championship. But at the end of the day, it's just the opinion of a very star-studded panel here.
No disrespect to any of those other competitors. I want to see what the kids really got.
Agreed, absolutely agreed. Let's take a look back at the ECW arena, Mac. for your next match, which was a big match, Max. So I'm gonna give you the floor so you can explain to the MPCW universe here on Inside the Ropes exactly what took place.
I gotta this one. I'm gonna have to break it down a little more, like a fraction for you, because this was a showcase match from Asylum. It
Oh
was
God.
for a championship you're very familiar with, my brother. It was for the Insomniac Championship.
Home sweet home.
As we've
Better lucky I didn't
seen,
get in that ring. Knock
I
the
mean,
dust off real quick.
I was starting to take my blazer off and loosen the tie there backstage, but we seen the champion Inmate 420 taking on Damian Wolf in a light tube syringe match, a spin on an old classic from Asylum, and taking a match that we've seen not too long ago here on PCW.
True. We literally just saw this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
You listen. Honestly, I didn't think my stomach could handle another light tube death match, but
I mean, and then I added the
watched it.
syringe factor, so it got even crazier.
It got just absolutely diabolical.
I gotta ask, boss man, what were you smoking when you made this match?
Well, I mean, we're in the ECW arena, right? And we just seen you
That's true.
and Cletus the Bum in a fire death match.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an Asylum match now that we had to put on. So we had to take that ultra violence level, because this wasn't just your regular run of the mill violence. We had to take that ultra violent level, and we had to raise a little bit for the patients from Asylum for this match. I mean, we had the doctors, the nurses. I brought in an Asylum siren just for this match because I love that damn thing that much. Both competitors were brought out by Happy Man Asylum doctors and nurses into the ring. The ropes were replaced with light tubes.
Oh,
And I might have had barbed wire also kind of holding those things up and together, countless syringes at ringside containing various chemicals, if you will. I mean, we seen one syringe get knocked out of the ring, and it just produced this sick green gas, and we had to quickly turn on the ventilation system again in the arena just in case, because God knows what was in there. I'm sure
Lord
it
have
was
mercy.
more than just boat cleaner and whatever else they could get their hands on.
Yeah, definitely.
We see the ending of the match sees Inmate 420 get up, and he heads for Damien, but Damien pulls a syringe out, and he tries to stab Inmate 420 with it, but Inmate 420 grabs his wrist at the last minute, and he fights with him, and 420 nails a headbutt, sending Damien stumbling, but he was still holding the syringe as Inmate 420 quickly kicked the legs out from under Damien, sending him into the light tubes, and it may have caused a slight explosion. I forgot to tell him about that. Hey, look, we had a lot of C4 left over from sibling rivalry, and I had to do a little something with it,
It's very true.
As Damien stumbles back, 420 hooked on the hooch, and he grabs the pink liquid-filled syringe, and he stabs Damien with it, knocking him out, rendering him unconscious. And the referee finally, for their sake, called the match in favor of still your Insomniac champion, Inmate 420.
Very nice.
That is terrifying.
I mean, there was glass, blood, needles everywhere. I mean, it looked like some of the side streets here in Philadelphia, for crying out loud.
Agreed. And let's for the sake of just saying it, the Asylum matches usually um, produce the epitome of what crazy is. So congratulations to Inmate 420. Congratulations to our brother CEO Donald Smith for allowing you to put on this type of a showcase. I cannot listen to or hear any more of that match because I feel like I'm going to lose everything that I have
Also, a
inside.
reminder, folks, for our ACW fans, all of these matches will be posted in full detail later on after tonight's show. So if you want to really read everything and break everything down, we're going to have that available for you.
Well, Mac, we on the PCW side of things, we have one more match before our main event, and it looks like, ironically enough, on your end, you have one more match before your co-main event and main event. So, match number 5, MPCW Network Championship match. It's a 20-minute time limit. Features the champion, the next level, James Rhodes versus Shin Dragon versus Big Sexy. The 3 men are ready to attack as soon as the bell is rang. Big Sexy runs and steamrolls Shin Dragon. He is feeling proud and is embracing the crowd, but this is short-lived as he turns around only to be met with a running knee strike followed by a super kick to the gut by James Rhodes. Shin Dragon is starting to move and gets up and hits a fired up James Rhodes with Muay Thai kicks and punches. The two start to brawl, hitting hard punches when Big Sexy takes the distraction to hit both men with clotheslines, followed by an Orton style DDT, that hangman
Ooh.
DDT from the ropes there. Big Sexy would go for a pinfall here, but would only get a 2 count. And this match is seeing the best of each man's work by far. Big Sexy pushes Shin Dragon to the corner and hits him with an Undertaker style punches in the corner as Shin Dragon would duck and climb under Big Sexy's arm there. And runs right into a clothesline that makes Shin Dragon stumble, and James Rhodes follows this up with a running knee strike again. He would go for a pinfall there, only to get a 2 count. So Big Sexy goes for a pinfall. James Rhodes goes for a pinfall. Big Sexy and Shin Dragon brawl until they hear James Rhodes hollering at them from the top turnbuckle as he hits a moonsault on them both. Rhodes would hit his stop sign, that package pile driver, and he goes for a pin on Big Sexy, but Big Sexy is able to kick out at 2. Big Sexy rolls out of the ring. Shin Dragon catches James Rhodes off guard with a German suplex. He follows it up with a pinfall. The ref counts 1, 2, but another kick out, and this does nothing but infuriate the champ as Big Sexy, ladies and gentlemen, would grab a hold of Shin Dragon's leg and allow for James Rhodes to hit Shin Dragon with a code breaker.
Ooh.
Big Sexy would then smile and walk away. He heads back up the ramp into the backstage area, walking out on this match, allowing Rhodes to hit his Roadblock 2.0, that shooting star press, into a pinning combination as the referee counts 1, 2, 3. The winner and still MPCW Network champion, James Rhodes. So, real briefly, let's talk about Big Sexy, because leading up to this match, we were all under the impression that Big Sexy was here to make a statement for a purpose, to make his name known. And here we see, seemingly, and it's all speculation, but it appears that he is teamed up with James Rhodes. In regards to this match, Mac, what is going through your mind with that one?
I mean, I believe I believe this is. I don't know if they're going to team up. I don't know these men's thought process here, but but this could have been a message from Big Sexy here to clearly state that, you know what, if I wanted this championship, I could have just had it very easily here. And he just walks away. That he's telling these two men that right now this isn't worth my time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly in regards to that. It's something to look forward to, or look a little deeper into, moving forward.
Definitely a head scratcher there.
Yeah, it is strange. It is very strange. We're gonna shift base here real quick. We're gonna head back to the ECW, the classic ECW arena. Before you jump into this match, though, Mac, it appears your general manager, Dre Horton, has arrived to the special arena for MPCW inside the rope. So let's bring on screen here ACW general manager Dre Horton.
Yo, what's good? What's good?
How's it going, Dre?
I'm doing good. What's going on, Malcolm? What's going on, Boss? Chris? What's going on, Sarah? Blueberry D? How you doing, girl?
Blueberry D. My hair is purple. Dre.
I mean, she's looking kind of violet today.
Oh, my bad.
Maybe the ultra violentness of all the matches has started to rub off on her.
Could be.
My bad. All right, go ahead.
Malcolm, can you put me under you guys and have Dre under Lavender?
No,
that way
you good.
I don't want to put that on me.
Wow.
Well, Dre, just so you're caught up to speed, you guys are actually on match number 6, the ACW United States Championship Liberty Bell match between Southern Heart versus Sabrina the Psychotic. I am going to give you guys the floor as you guys let the MPCW universe know to an extent what took place with this championship match here.
Right.
This was a very unique match that I put together for this event, where we had this. It was a replica of the Liberty Bell there, right on the stage there in the entrance area, and the point of the match was to incapacitate your opponent enough for you to leave the ring, go up the ramp, and ring that bell.
Oh, I like it. It's very innovative.
And we saw these two ladies fight it out and show the world what that United States Championship means to them. I mean, we've seen Sabrina kick off the match very early in the match, right as the bell rang, with a big German suplex. And the match went back and forth after this. And finally, these two ladies, they get up on the stage in the middle of this brawl, this all-out fight. And Southern Belle gets
Southern Heart.
Oh, thank you, Southern Belle. Well, Southern Liberty Bell.
She's a Southern Belle. She is
Yeah.
Southern Belle of the South. The Southern Belle of the South. I got where you're coming from.
Southern Belle starts delivering this punching combination, and she stuns Sabrina here for a moment.
You said it again. That was great.
Southern Heart.
He gonna learn
Southern.
He gonna learn
I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out before this is over with.
Exactly. He gonna learn it. Just give him time.
Oh shit.
Some of those bad habits I had back in the day, they kind of take effect on me from time to time. Yeah.
They catch up on you. We probably
Southern
shouldn't have,
Heart.
shocked you in the garage with the battery and the spark, like the jumper.
I mean,
cable.
yeah. Then we wouldn't have the asylum event shock treatment. So
True.
You're welcome.
Don't remind me of those.
But we've seen Southern Heart start delivering these punching combinations to Sabrina, and she quickly grabs her leg. It looked like she was going for a double leg takedown, where she grabs Sabrina and she starts delivering the giant swing, shades of Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli even, and she takes her and she swings her into the bell,
Damn.
using her. I mean, that was kind of shades of Man with Mayhem hitting a motherfucker with another motherfucker, but she used Sabrina to ring that Liberty Bell and secure that victory.
Wait, time out.
Yeah,
She used a person
to ring that. Yeah,
to
she
ring
didn't
the
just
bell?
go and ring the bell, ding ding. No, she took Sabrina, her opponent, and she had the giant swing going, and she positioned herself and bing, used Sabrina to ring the bell and secured that United States Championship that stayed with her.
Retains her
Yes.
ACW United States Champions. Sarah, question for you. Do we need to call someone for you? Because I know you have to go home to Sabrina.
I'm kind of afraid to go home right now because as much as this was a very inventive way to win, it is more likely a very embarrassing way to lose for Sabrina. Yeah. I may be looking for a hotel here in Philly.
I think you should go to the burn ward, guy.
Well, they do have my own bed at several of the hospitals around here because of all the fire matches I've been in lately.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I think you should just.
Hey, when you call yourself the deathmatch deity, I want you to show me.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying you burn because of those matches. I've lost a few pounds that were burned off.
I mean, I don't think you've been in that many death matches in a row in a long time.
No, the last time I was in that many death matches in a row, I think was in before I came to ACW against Casey Jackson in Japan.
Dre, your thoughts on that match? Because that's like Mack was saying, that is an innovative way for someone to win or retain a championship, and we all know you've been a huge supporter and fan of Southern Heart. So, your thoughts on said match?
First of all, if y'all not remember, Southern Heart has been around Mammoth.
Southern Heart.
So, that's what I said, didn't I? Did I say something else? God damn it. You know what?
I made you wonder, though, didn't I?
Right. So, Southern Heart, if y'all not remember, she has been around Mayhem, and maybe she picked a little bit from him to learn how to do that. Because, like you said,
they are training partners. That is correct.
Right. So, I've had the opportunity to train with both Mayhem and Southern Heart, even though, Dominator destroyed me. We ain't gonna get into that. But, the way to end this match, I thought it was a damn good ending. I really did. It was damn good. There's a lot of banging, but, still your champion. Woo.
Lavi, before we move on to our co-main event, this match for ACW featured two female superstars. Your thoughts on seeing a showcase match of that caliber between Southern Heart and Southern. Well, you've been calling her Southern Belle for whatever reason, but Southern Heart and Sabrina the Psychotic.
I really enjoyed it. I feel like this was something I would love to see more on in MPCW, just having intense female matches like that, and I thought it was a great show between the two of them.
Well, let's shift back to the Barclays Center here for the co-main event, the Apex Tag Team Championship match, guys. This is probably one of the more interesting things that's happened throughout the night. And Mac, I'm actually going to go through my co-main event and main event because these two
Feel free,
scenarios
my
are
brother.
one and the same. They are actually very intertwined. So the co-main event featured Apex Tag Team Champions Gunner and Dominator versus World Champion ACW World Champion Jackson Law, PCW Global Champion Casey Riddle. Law and Riddle execute flawless tag team continuity throughout the duration of the match. For every move attempted by Gunner or Dominator, Law and Riddle had a reversal or an answer for it. Eventually, we would see Dominator and Gunner capitalize due to a distracted referee, allowing them to pick up some momentum. Dominator and Gunner would hit a tandem, fire away that pop-up power bomb, and a Dominator neckbreaker move to Casey Riddle as Gunner has the pin on Riddle. And right before the referee's hand hits the mat for 3, Law was able to break up the pin. Dominator would attempt to take Law out with a clothesline, but Law uses his momentum and tosses him over the top rope to the floor outside. And like a cat, he would scale to that top turnbuckle and hit a corkscrew splash to a vertical Dominator. However, Dominator would catch Law in midair and hit him with the follow-away slam. So just a series of amazing reversals throughout those moments there. Dominator looks like he's trying to do a little one-upmanship type deal here as he slides in the ring. He climbs to the top turnbuckle and motions for Law to get to his feet. Law slowly makes it to his feet as Dominator leaps off the turnbuckle for a splash of his own, but Law catches him with that DOA, that RKO move to the ringside floor, and the tide has shifted again as Law would climb back up to the corner. Riddle makes the tag. Law gets into the ring. He makes a tag to Riddle. So now they're both legal men for a duration of time here in the ring, and they are stalking Gunner, waiting for him to get to his feet. Law sweeps the leg as Riddle hits Gunner with a super kick. A beautiful tandem move between the two individuals there. Law lifts Gunner up to his shoulders as Law and Riddle hit that bulletproof, the reverse GTS, into a reverse stunner. Riddle would hook the leg. 1, 2. The Phenometron flashes the word dedicated.
Interesting.
The lights begin to flash as 2 masked individuals make their way out to the ring.
Oh,
Riddle and Law stand shoulder to shoulder in the ring as the lights go out for a few minutes. When they come back on, the hooded figures are behind Law and Riddle, and they nail them with several shots to the back with a steel chair. Flower Princess and Law Security rush out to the ring, and the lights go dark again. When they come back on, the 2 hooded figures are seen standing in a skybox here in the Barclays Center, holding the Apex Tag Team Championships. Match result is a no contest. And unfortunately, we have no idea who these 2 masked, hooded individuals are. So there's no way for us to get those Apex Tag Team Championships back from these individuals. And I mean, Law and Riddle had the match won. Law and Riddle, I mean, that bulletproof move, once you're hit with it, you're done for. You count to 100.
that's right.
Good luck. But to have those titles, not only just the match interfered with, but to have those titles stolen in that manner, definitely has a funny way of playing with people.
This is shades of something we seen not too long ago during the Jackson Law Championship celebration.
Yeah.
These hooded figures coming out and interfering and attacking. I mean,
And it's really strange that you say that too, Mac, because we usually see them showing up during either renegade matches or misery matches. Um, very very odd. Now this next part, and Lavender has been very very upset since seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but a certain individual on this panel, I'm not going to say any names, um, have had something to do with this next part. So the following match was supposed to be a main event, a championship showcase. Infinity World Champion Flower Princess versus Boundless Champion Emberlyn Cross. Flower Princess heads to the back as she was just outside or just out at ringside with Law and Riddle. So she heads to the back with Law and Riddle. They pass the trainer room as a hooded figure makes their way out of the room.
Interesting.
Renegade
hell?
immediately jumps this individual,
Mm-hmm.
and Flower Princess snatches the hood off to reveal none other than Emberlyn Cross. Clearly, Emberlyn can't be any of the hooded figures, but Renegade at this point in time, I mean, it makes sense. They're seeing red at the moment, and obviously it's a poor wardrobe choice on Miss Cross's behalf for that certain moment, wrong place, wrong time type situation. Um, Law and Riddle would hit Emberlyn Cross with a double power bomb through a table backstage
Oh boy.
as Law security prevents our PCW security from stopping Renegade. Flower Princess grabs a handful of Emberlyn's hair and drags her from the backstage area to the ring, being flanked by Law and Riddle. Princess tosses Emberlyn in the ring and rolls in after her. Law and Riddle pull Emberlyn to her feet and toss her towards Princess, who hits her with a royal knockout, that stunner.
Mm-hmm.
They pick her up again, toss her to Flower Princess, who nails her with another stunner. Law would instruct Flower Princess to lock Emberlyn Cross in the Flower 4, that figure 4 leg lock, and Flower Princess obliges, locks Emberlyn in this Flower 4, while at the same time, Law would lock Emberlyn Cross in that SOTL, the Silence of the Lambs, that guillotine hold,
Mm-hmm.
and not a pretty sight for people watching, as she is just being absolutely massacred, so to speak, for a light of words. Law and Princess will release the hold as Riddle grabs a microphone for Law. Law grabs Emberlyn and says, "Allow me to introduce you to your destruction." Famous last words as Valhalla calling by Peyton Parrish blast on the PA system, and none other than the man sitting directly beneath me, the Dark Avatar, the Deathmatch deity himself. Sarabai would make his way out to the ring. Sarabai gets in the ring, pulls Emberlyn to her feet, locks her in the mandible claw. Emberlyn struggles, shows fight, just trying to get out of this situation. Again, Law security's around the ring. They're preventing any kind of help to get to Emberlyn in this predicament. And we all saw, me and Lavender kind of shared a glance as Emberlyn Cross would go completely motionless, being locked in the mandible claw. And Sarabai would then follow up with an ancient history, the mandible claw slam, damn near throwing her through the center of the ring. What shocked the entire universe, ladies and gentlemen, is when Sarabai takes his leather jacket off, he is brandishing a Renegade shirt.
What?
Renegade always be
What the hell?
Surprise,
Not a damn
motherfucker!
another one.
Surprise!
Renegade does not need any more help. They destroy every single show. We do not need. We do not.
Security is finally able to get into the ring. They're able to restrain or get Renegade out of the ring as EMTs are rushing to the ring with a stretcher to escort Emberlyn Cross out of the ring. So moving forward from that, because obviously Lavender was very vocal about how upset she was. Let's talk to ACW personnel here real quick. Mack, what's going through your mind after seeing seeing the replays of this and hearing what took place?
I'm sure he's just as mad as I am because Renegades keep ruining everything, and they're just going to
I mean,
continue
first
to
of
ruin
all-
MPCW.
First of all, it's a damn another one of these little bastards running around here now.
Mm-hmm.
As if it wasn't bad enough. But they just took out, I mean, first, I'm sure Eberlyn is going to throw that particular piece of ring attire out of her gear. Because, Jesus. Two, they just dismantled your Boundless champion.
Yep, and that concerns me that she won't be able to compete anytime soon.
Exactly. And I mean, the title may have to be vacated.
I think at this point it may actually be wisest if Malcolm and I make the executive decision for it to be vacated.
I mean,
the
there's
way
no
she's
way after that
treated, she's not
beatdown
competing soon.
she could be ever medically cleared to defend that championship.
At all, in any capacity.
And if she were cleared by some probably sketchy doctor, if they're clearing her,
I mean, that could result in
liability for our
major injury on top of whatever, she may have already sustained here tonight.
Agreed. Dre, your thoughts after seeing these replays, hearing what happened, with these with the main event, well, whatever there was of a main event. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, Malcolm and Raspberry D, I just want to say I am sorry that your Boundless champion got destroyed like that. That was very uncalled for.
Absolutely.
And Sarah, I just want to say to you, you're a piece of shit. Okay,
You're a damn scoundrel.
Big lump of shit. That
Yes.
wasn't cool. I don't know why you did that shit. You look, I wasn't arrested. I was going to knock you out myself, but I can't. So, that's fucked up. And then on top of that, you would have joined these scumbag some bitches. That ain't.
I mean,
fair
I thought
either.
you hated these guys
Exactly.
and lady.
Oh, I hated him now.
And lady.
What?
I use that
Sarah,
term very
yes,
loosely
join them.
there.
Well, let him speak. Let him speak. Go ahead, spit it out, Sarah. Shit, talk.
Man, you guys are gullible. Damn. This has been in the playbooks since I walked back into the parking lot. God.
Well, maybe you should have walked your way back into the parking lot then. Hell,
Trey, if you think you're big enough to take me to the parking lot, try it.
I can't do nothing. I'm not a professional wrestler. I make one phone call and I hope they can answer the phone first. They can answer the phone first. Then
No.
I can make my phone call.
My goals actually align with Renegades to a T. And yes, it is the wisest move I've made because, one, the money, come on. It is literally going to be rolling in now.
It's Chris.
Two,
Under Chris Mack.
Oh, you son. Who let this guy in here?
Chris Mack. Blast from the past, baby.
Wow.
What in the world have you done to the flagship program? It used to be the #1 rated television show in the history of television. You took over, and ACW Tuesday Night Terrors went to the basement. I'm working
Absolutely
with legal.
not.
I'm working with legal right now, Chris.
We
Mack.
have launched
I'm
ACW
working with
into
legal
the
right
stratosphere here under the
I'm telling you,
MPCW
I'm working with
umbrella.
legal right
I mean, did you
now.
even watch the show tonight?
I've been
Did you
watching.
even watch the show?
I've been watching. You let the Renegade run amok. You let Renegade do whatever the hell they want to do. I thought you had a backbone, Chris Mack.
Oh, Mister, how many cars? How many cars was it, Bobby?
We're
That you had to
talking
come
about the Church of
begging
Misery,
me
not Renegade.
to
Listen,
buy the
the Church
company
of Misery,
to get you out of
Jackson
debt.
Law and Mr. Danger and J.J. Streeter and the Mammoth Mayhem, that was a formidable force. The faction that will make an impact on sports entertainment for years to come. People will be talking about the largest man in wrestling, the Mammoth Mayhem, Mr. Danger,
The Mighty Mastodon.
Wrestler of the Year,
Okay,
Jackson
it's trademark.
Law, the fastest rising star. But you're letting a group called the Renegade? The Renegade? Are you serious?
I think I'm just
Mack?
showing.
I mean, are you going to call the Dark Circus to come save the day, or maybe you're going to go call the museum and get the main event militia back together again?
Maybe my little brother Mason and I will take over. We got legal working on it.
No. See, you could try as you might. There's no loopholes, Bobby. You and Mason signed on the dotted line because you needed help to get out of debt from all the millions. Let me say that again, the millions of dollars of debt that you went into because misery ran you over like a steamroller week by week by week.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this. Get ran over by misery, no shame in that. But getting run over by the Mercers of the world, the Appalachian States of the world, the Sisters of the Blind and the Poor of the world, that's a little different, Chris Mack. By the way,
Lavender I know. He's going to call the Ohio
you're
Connection
doing a great job.
for a
the
reunion.
Wagner family is so proud of you. Lavender D, you are amazing.
Thanks. I try hard.
I mean, when she's not flirting with Pat McAfee.
I have no bone to pick with you, Malcolm. You're doing a great job over there at PCW. I've been watching closely. Listen, the greatest mind in all of wrestling keeps it 100. Malcolm King is doing a great job, but Chris Mack.
You know, Bobby,
you see, PCW
you're going to keep all this on, and I may have to make a personal trip to wherever scumbag town you're in, and we may have to settle this again because remember the last time we were in a ring together? It didn't work out for you or Mason. Isn't that right, Malcolm?
When's your next pay-per-view, Chris Mack? Or do you even know because you're not really running a tight ship around here, are you? When is the next pay-per-view?
The next pay-per-view event extravaganza is Beach Blast, and you know this.
So, why don't we do
Beach
this?
Brawl, excuse me.
Why don't we do this? Chris Mack versus Bobby Wagner, Malcolm King, a special referee, and Lavender D, a special ringside enforcer.
I like it.
I mean, if we're going to bring the family into this, we might as well have CEO Donald Smith, my brother, as a special guest timekeeper.
Donald Duck, Donald Trump. It doesn't matter which Donald that you bring to the show, Chris Mack. But Bobby Wagner is going to have his little brother Mason ringside too, and the Wagner family will prevail over you, chump. Uh-oh, he's speechless.
That he is.
Is this the first time Chris Mack has ever been speechless? Does the proverbial cat?
I don't need any of these people to beat your. You done?
We're waiting.
You done yet?
Do you accept the challenge?
You know, Bobby, unlike you, I'm not a complete idiot. I'm not going to put my company in any kind of jeopardy like you are. But if you want to match, if you want to fight, let's say, because that's what it's going to be. We're not wrestlers, but we will fight. And how about I come up there and we settle this face to face?
You name the town, the venue, the date, and I'll be there.
Okay.
Bobby Wagner is out.
Thank God he's done talking. I was ready to fall asleep.
Listen, Mac, we'll figure that one out. You know how people in production with ACW are. They love. There's those people that still love Bobby, but
He hemorrhaged money from the company. Millions and millions of dollars. He hemorrhaged this money from the company. And now he wants to come in like he was Superman all along, that he always had the best interests of the company in mind. I mean, he should be in jail for extortion for what he did.
Agreed. I absolutely agree. Let's not let this frazzle you though, Chris Mack. Let's jump into the main event for Red, White, and Bruised. What took place in your co-main event? Because I believe that match saw the real Tim Cyphers versus the MPCW Network champion, the Next Level James Rhodes. Interesting. I mean, this in itself was a interesting series of events that took place with that one.
Absolutely. It was set to be the real Tim Cyphers taking on the MPCW Network champion James Rhodes in a one-on-one competition. I mean, pay-per-view quality matchup anywhere in the world.
Pay-per-view caliber competitors.
Absolutely. But as Tim Cyphers was standing in the ring, he was awaiting James Rhodes making his way down the ramp when, out of nowhere, seemingly, Jackson Law entered the ring and viciously attacked Cyphers from behind. He begins beating him down, and James Rhodes, he kind of stood there with a conflicted look on his face. I mean, it took him a minute to register, I guess, what was going on. We've seen a moment where he drops his championship belt. He grabs a steel chair, and it looks like he was going to come into the ring. And again, he got that conflicted look on his face, and he just drops the chair. He grabs his championship, and he turns and walks away as both Law Security and ACW Security rush the ring to break these two men up.
Huh. Not the way you planned your co-main event, I'm sure. I mean,
at all. I mean, tempers have already been flaring. I mean, it's already been called a rival. These two competitors in the real Tim Cyphers and Jackson Law, along with JJ Streeter, was being called already a rivalry of the year right there. The tempers are still high between these two. Medical staff, they got Tim Cyphers out of the ring as Jackson Law stood in the ring holding his ACW championship high, gloating, celebrating, and yelling at Tim Cyphers almost, "Who's real now?" You got to believe this is payback from the championship celebration. We've seen a very similar situation with Tim Cyphers attacking Jackson Law, and now we see the tables have turned.
Absolutely.
But that led us into our main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, for the ACW World Heavyweight Championship, a rematch, one-on-one. JJ Streeter, the heavy hitter representing the Church of Misery, taking on the champion, the Black Print, representing Renegade Jackson Law.
Well, hey, let's hear it. Let's hear it in its entirety. I'll call it with
Absolutely.
you. Let's go. I'm interested.
Both-
I mean, there's a lot at stake, so to speak. Just in general. And I can say this to you, my brother, because it's no mistake that you and Jackson Law don't have a very cohesive relationship. He said some things about you. You've said some things about him. At the end of the day, like myself, you want the best for your company. And fortunately for you, my brother, you have the best representing your company right now. But I mean, at some given time, something has to give. Law can't just keep running around doing God knows what or whatever he wants, so to speak.
I mean, something's got to be done here. I've tried to be professional with the guy. I have said some things. I tried to be professional with him, and still, this is what I get.
Maybe you should have him fight Bobby for you.
I mean, I haven't enraged the man that where he has damaged any of my personal vehicles, but to my credit, I don't bring my personal vehicles to the arena. I always get a beautiful rental car with plenty of insurance on it because I'm not dumb like Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, agreed. Let's jump right into your main event for Red, White, and Bruised.
Both men are in the center of the ring, no words wasted. Laser focused stares, looking each other dead in the eyes across the ring. The referee calls for the bell as Law and Streeter stand motionless for several moments, soaking this moment in and eyes locked on one another. Every single move that each other is making, they're watching. They kind of circled around for a moment, but that was about the extent of it for the moment. The crowd is on their feet. They're kind of split, which was kind of surprising, but we are in Philadelphia. This crowd here, these fans out here, they're kind of a different breed themselves.
Fucking animals.
I'm telling you. The crowd on their feet cheering for both men. Law and Streeter, they finally step towards each other and stand face to face. You could feel the tension thick in the air. You could cut it with a knife as both men start trading bombs at one another. Streeter connects with a huge right as Law responds with a vicious elbow. Streeter throws another punch, but Law ducks it under it. He hits the ropes. He meets Streeter with a shoulder, trying to knock the bigger man off of his feet, but Streeter doesn't budge an inch. Streeter then hits the ropes, and he goes for a shoulder, but Law reverses it, and he delivers a beautiful sling blade. Law's quick to the top turnbuckle. He goes for a corkscrew splash, but Streeter gets out of the landing zone, and Law lands on his feet, which the talent and skill that takes, I mean, world championship caliber right there.
Impressive.
He waits for Streeter to get vertical. Law charges him with a clothesline, but Streeter catches him and hits him with a big belly-to-belly release suplex.
Oh.
Law is on his feet near the corner as Streeter connects that freight train collision, that stinger splash, to the champion in the corner.
Streeter grabs Law out of the corner and drills him with a pump handle slam. Streeter has control of the match, hitting Law with numerous slams and maneuvers as Streeter showcases his boxing ability, hitting Law with that 3-stab jab. Streeter would then run the ropes and hit Law with a big boot, sending him over the top rope. Streeter gets out of the ring on the opposite side of Law. He begins picking up steam as he races around the ring, but Law meets him with a vicious chaos dagger, that spear, nearly cutting JJ Streeter in half. Law would grab Streeter and Irish whip him into the steel steps with such force that the steps break apart from their connection. Law pulls Streeter to the top of the bottom half of the steel stairs and locks Streeter's arms in a double chicken wing, and Law nails a billion future, that future shot DDT to Streeter on those steps, and the referee is at a count of 7 as Law tosses Streeter in the ring. He hooks the leg, 1, 2, and a kick out before 3 by JJ Streeter.
Wow. Law sits in the middle of the ring and he can't believe it. The crowd can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
Frustrated, Law gets out of the ring and he heads for the timekeeper's area. Law grabs the ACW World Championship and begins talking to Lucille. Law gets back in the ring and yells at Streeter to get to his feet. Streeter gets up as Law goes to hit him with the title, but the ref grabs the belt out of his hand. Law gets in the ref's face, screaming at him about putting his hands on Lucille. Meanwhile, Trey Camp comes out to the ring and he removes the turnbuckle pad. Law turns around to a running European uppercut courtesy of JJ Streeter. Streeter then drags Law towards that exposed turnbuckle and connects Law's forehead off of the turnbuckle with a catapult. And instantly, Law is busted open. Law turns around and is drilled with a heavy-handed right cross. Streeter falls on top of Law for the cover. 1, 2, but Law at the last moment gets his foot on the bottom rope, breaking up the pinfall. The ring presence of the champion at display right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. Wow. Listen, I thought it was all over. And I was saying to you, Mac, your referee might be in danger. You might want to instruct your referee about proper etiquette. But Streeter is absolutely beside himself. He mounts Law and delivers repeated punches to that busted open area on Law's forehead. The referee utilizes the 5 count and restrains Streeter after the 5 count, instructing him that he will DQ him if he doesn't listen. Streeter grabs Law and tosses him to the corner opposite the exposed turnbuckle. Streeter climbs to the second rope and delivers punches to Law at the count of the crowd. Streeter is at the count of 8 when Law grabs him around the legs and lifts him in a power bomb position. Law nails Streeter with a buckle bomb, catching the back of Streeter's head and neck off the exposed turnbuckle. Streeter looks out of it as he favors his neck. Law goes for a DOA, that RKO, but Streeter reverses out of it. Law follows up with a vicious ripcord knee strike, dropping Streeter to his hands and knees. Law nails a sinner's judgment, that curb stomp, but Streeter tries to get up and is met with another curb stomp. Law screams at Streeter to stay down, but defiant, the former ACW World Champion JJ Streeter gets to his feet and puts his hands up, almost begging Law to give him everything he has. And Streeter, with the absolute form of disrespect, flips Jackson Law off and goes for a heavy-handed right cross. Law ducks and lifts Streeter to his shoulders, looking for a kneel at the altar, but Streeter gets out of it, however, and goes for another heavy-handed right cross. Law catches his arm and locks him in the silence of the lambs, the guillotine, as Streeter fights and claws his way towards the ropes. He is inches away from the ropes. All he has to do is reach and grab onto that bottom rope, but Jackson Law has this hold locked in. The referee checks on Streeter, who is completely motionless, and the referee has no other choice, Mac, but to call for the bell. Your winner via submission and still ACW World Champion, Jackson Law.
But the action doesn't stop there. Really, really, by Kevin Gates plays throughout the arena as the real
Here we
Tim
go, Mac.
Cyphers makes his way out to the ring. Law just went through a war, but he stands his ground. Cyphers stops on the ramp as the lights of the arena flash and flicker. Two hooded figures make their way out to the entrance stage. Cypher smiles and he turns around and heads to the back, stopping and looking at both figures before going through the curtain. The two figures head to the ring to rush Law, but Law security rush out and the lights go out, and when they come back on, the word dedicated is displayed on the Jumbotron. What the hell is going on with this?
Listen,
And is
That's
Tim
happening
Cyphers
on
in
my
on
show?
this?
At the end of the day, I want to know some. We need some answers.
Who's all in on this? What's
We
going
need some
on?
answers. We need some answers because they're interfering on my show. They're interfering on you guys' show. It's freaky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, they stole the Apex Tag Team Championships on PCW.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, hopefully we'll find out soon because we need to stop these boys before they do anything other damage to ACW.
Agreed. Sarabai, I mean, you seem to be the only person here who might be able to give us some insight in regards to what's going on in the Renegade camp. What are we to expect an all-out just anarchy from this group that you now are a part of?
For no damn reason.
I'm not telling you guys the plans of what's going on in the camp. You're going to have to wait in line just with the other sheet.
Bad.
Dear Lord. Well,
Already talking like Law. Already.
Oh, I'm sorry. My intelligence is a little higher up than most of y'all's.
He's a very influential individual, Mac. We know this. I don't know what to expect, Mac. We're gonna have to figure it out. However, you seem to have a lot on your plate now too, with the appearance. I mean, for a second time in this year, a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago, actually, we saw Bobby Wagner at Law's championship celebration. Here tonight, we saw Bobby Wagner show up at our first ever MPCW Presents Inside the Ropes show. So you have a lot on your plate, my brother. But, you know, as our brother, the CEO, Donald Smith, would say, it is time to cut it out. I am PCW CEO Malcolm King, alongside me ACW CEO Chris Mack, ACW General Manager Dre Horton, my wife, my beautiful lady, PCW General Manager Lavender D was here. She got really frustrated with the whole Amberlin thing and had to leave. Thanks a lot, Sarabai. I'm probably going to be sleeping on the couch or something, but
That's something we got in common this week.
yeah, that's true. And as always, the death match deity himself, the Dark Avatar, and now, as we know, a member of Renegade, Sarabai. We will see you guys in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time. Peace.